If that double team kill doesn't impress you, I don't know what will. Welcome back to Battlefield 1 in the big 2025. I always come back to this game. It's my feel-good game. I'm not as good as I used to be, but I can still pull a few things off. Back when I originally played this game, it was on PlayStation 4 and controller. So playing on PC, which is what I'm playing on here, was it's a little bit different. And definitely very rusty compared to how we used to play. There we had a good little run in our medic class. It's our fallback class. Whenever our team's suffering, we'll pull that out. A lot of these clips are sniper clips. It's just something that I thought they nailed in Battlefield 1. I always enjoyed sniping in Battlefield 1. It was a pretty good experience. And a lot of people dogged on the World War I setting. You know, what fun gameplay can we get out of World War I? Well, DICE did a fantastic job with this game, with the immersion, the atmosphere, how gritty everything is. You know, you crawl around, you get mud all over your weapon. There's people screaming constantly. There's a horse in the background, for Pete's sake. Who's Pete? Anyway, this is a fantastic game. And there's still active servers you can find. I'm not quite sure how it is on console. Last time I checked, it was a few months ago, there were still servers open. On PC, there's still, I wouldn't say, you know, plenty, but I mean, there's a dozen fully populated servers, especially during peak hours. It may exceed that. And part of that's because the Battlefield franchise has struggled over the last few years trying to find and keep an audience. They had to go through the COVID years. They had to compete with Warzone and the Battle Royales. And Battlefield 5 just didn't take off, and it didn't maintain like Battlefield 1 has. They ended up polishing Battlefield 5 later on, but it never quite felt as cohesive of an experience as this game, Battlefield 1. Fantastic game. Even the DLC was good. So they nailed this one. And maybe DICE has a chance to redeem themselves with Battlefield 6. So that's what we'll hope to see. I was kind of nervous for Battlefield 6, thinking that it may come out around the same time as GTA 6. That would have been a train wreck, so hopefully they can avoid that. But at the same time, I do not want them to rush the game, because it very well could kill this franchise. Medal of Honor is already gone down the drain. Battlefield's our last big alternative to Call of Duty, at least for now. And speaking of, just going back to talk about the atmosphere, the music, the graphics, the voiceovers that these random characters do, it's fantastic. You don't get that kind of experience in 2042, where you have your characters making, you know, sarcastic and annoying little quips all the time. And you definitely don't get that in Call of Duty, where, you know, you may have Nicki Minaj to your left, and then to your right you got Seth Rogen running around. It's about like playing Fortnite now, which, I mean, at least with Fortnite, it's a cartoonish game. That's the art style, that's the direction of the game. Those more extreme things don't stick out as much in a cartoon environment than a game that used to be a combat, I wouldn't say simulator, but a combat game.
Feindliche Kavallerie gesichtet. Seht ihr? Das ist einer ihrer Soldaten. Vorsicht, ein Soldat.
That is just so crisp. The beautiful headshot, being able to see the meters of your snipe. It's beautiful. Now, the magnifications in the snipers weren't as, you know, at long range. It didn't excel in the super long range like you can do in a Battlefield 3 or a Battlefield 4. where you can land like a 1,400-meter snipe.
Das ist ein innerer Soldat.
But this was fun for what it was. You know, these mid to long range engagements. Very fun. The snipers were snappy, so you could run around and run and gun with a sniper if you really, really had the skill. Sometimes you would just finish them off with one pistol shot afterwards, which, by the way, our gold pistol over there.
Soldat da drüben.
This game did have cosmetics for your weapons unlockable in-game through this war bond system. Not the best system, to be honest, not the best system, but they weren't price gouging you. They weren't charging you $20 for a camo set. Look at all this. Oh, man. A little double grenade killed in that game. All right, look at this. We have the moisture on our screen. We have the mud over our weapon. Fantastic little details, and it really immerses you in the game. You know, if Nicki Minaj sprinted across the screen right now, it would take me out, but having, you know, this environment to look at, to play in, it just feels right.
Feindlicher Soldat gesichtet.
And when they announced they were going to do Battlefield 5 in World War II, coming off the heels of this game and Battlefield 4, I thought Battlefield 5 was going to be the greatest thing ever. So, I was very disappointed. So that's definitely a more short to mid-range snipe, but that SMLE lays them out.
20 attackers remain.
This desert map here. This is more of an example of what the 2042 desert maps should have been like, instead of just this open sea of land, this walking simulator. You know, Battlefield already teeters on the edge of walking simulator at times, so they really have to watch what they do. Nice little collateral there, double kill. Alright, he has a nice little head peek on this ridge, and we are throwing our shots.
Bir düşman gözcüsü görüyorum.
92-meter headshot. There we go. Whiffed a few times, but we pulled it out. So this is funny to me. We both passed each other a pack. I passed him a med pack, he passed me an ammo pack, and we just kept booking. You know, never looked back. That's just good team play. Even if it was unintentional, I love that. You hear that guy yelling? Amazing game. I just had a hunch there was a man in that building, and there was.
We are losing objective Charlie.
Ho individuato un soldato nemico.
We're down in the pouring rain, in the mud. So for, I believe, all of the gameplay here, I was playing in the operations game mode. There are still active servers, and it can be pretty fun, depending on which team you're on, at least.
Laggiù, quello è un crocco.
Alright, I believe I'm about to trade here, and this is coming up on the end of our video. Hopefully I see you guys in the next one. If there's an appetite for more Battlefield 1 content, we'll see it here shortly. I may be live streaming this game soon, so if you guys are interested, hit that subscription button and the notification bell, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.